We absolutely do not know anything about life until we meet God. We meander through life like tops on a sidewalk, spinning out of control. And then in the mind of some people, when the top quits spinning, life is over. Amen. A lot of you are younger in here today, and you're younger than me. Some of you 10, 12, 15. Some of you are a little older, and some of you are close to my age. But I'm going to warn you about life. It will get your life out of control. And Harriet did a little thing yesterday, and you'll find you have no place for God in your life. There's no room. There's no room for Him. Spend your entire life working, and then you'll come to a point in your life, and you'll be so busy that either the fun things or the must-do things or all those things will take control of your life. And yesterday we just played and had a good time. And you see the sign up here, to love your neighbor. That was the theme of our camp. And in the camp, we came to grips with that our neighbor was not the guy living next door to us, but the guy who in our heart we should have no care for, who we despise. Jesus came teaching the disciples. He said, love the Lord thy God with all your heart, and to love your neighbor as yourself. Then he turned it around on them. He said, I want you to love your enemies. That's not so easy to do in the flesh. Heck, Christians can barely get along. This morning, I've been going through, I don't know, we've been in about 3 months. John 14, 15, 16. And this morning I was talking to them about the eye of God. When I was a kid, I used to go to church and they used to sing this song, watching you, there's an all-seeing eye watching you. And I'll just be honest with you, it scared the heck out of me. I didn't feel like praising, I didn't feel like shouting, I didn't feel like dancing. They're singing, there's an all-seeing eye watching you. And I'm like, oh my God. Here's God, this big old cyclops up in heaven, and his eye is focused in on everything. My God, if he focused in on me and some of you, he wouldn't have time to look at nobody else. So I was traumatized as a kid. Coming to church and scared of God, scared to do right and scared to do wrong. But I didn't realize that the eye of God was not to look at my failure, but to guide me. Some of you would like to see what tomorrow holds for you. You want just a glimpse, because sometimes, I don't know if you've ever been somewhere in your life and you had something hanging over your head that was going to happen tomorrow. You wanted to know the end of it. I told a story this morning. My daughter Crystal, she cannot take the unknown. And one day they were walking, her and Nicole, I think, were walking down the street, and I caught them in a place that they shouldn't be. And I drove by and I said, get in the car. So they got in the back seat, and I was just driving along, and I was just quiet. I was trying to get rid of the mad before I talked. How many of you have ever done that? Try to get rid of that. I know some of you never try to get rid of the mad, you just talk, right? You should have got rid of the mad, but you didn't. You just spoke. And Crystal said something, and I said, Crystal, we will deal with this later. And just a little bit of silence went by, and she said, Dad, could we deal with this right now? There's things in your life you want to deal with right now. You want to get it over with. But you know what? We don't deal with it. We just keep hanging on. We keep building these walls against people, and the church gets further apart. You get angry about something. You get upset about something. You keep holding it in, holding it in, holding it in, holding it in. And the truth of the matter is, probably the person you're mad at don't even know why you're mad. They really don't know. People say things sometimes, I mean, all of us at one time in immaturity, we always had a sharp tongue. And then most people were pretty sharp with their tongue. They could use it like a sword. And knife you up and cut you up with it and say what they want to say and hurt you and do things. But as maturity comes into your life, you begin to get a grip on your tongue. How powerful is that? Because James said that your tongue, being such a small member of your body, it can start the biggest fire. And look, guys, even the Word of God says, where there's no wood, ain't no fire. But if we as adults can't love even our Christian fellow Christians, how can we teach the children to love their neighbors? You know, we give an offering this morning, and the Bible talks about levels of greatness. He says that the altar is greater than your offering. Now, we give a financial offering, okay? But back then, they would bring some type of sacrifice, and they would bring it up. But the Lord teaches us, Jesus teaches us that the first thing we need to do before we begin to give everything to God, we need to make it right with our fellow man. How powerful is that? How powerful that in the church of God, that there can be animosity, that there can be grief, that there can be separation, that there can be heartache, and all these things. And some people don't even know you broke their heart. Some people don't even know that you hurt them. Some people don't know, and some people don't know where they stand with you because you won't let them know where they stand with you, because you put on a face and you act like you're here, but then you slap on another face, and the next time they get with you, they're over here. The church of God has to quit playing games. If the glory of the Lord is going to shine in the children and shine in the church and shine in the house, then God's people got to realize that there is an eye of God that can lead us into the path of righteousness. The word righteousness means right thinking. We were congregated up here last night, a lot of young people. And if you'd come to the first service and see how that went, and then come to the last service and see what God did last night, we had service at 10, 2, and 7. And if you'd come to the last service and the first service, you said, how could God take what we came in with and turn it into what He turned it into? Because at the first service yesterday, I kind of master ceremony them and try to egg them on to do something for God. And everybody seemed to be pretty stoic. Didn't want to do nothing. I walked around, I asked somebody, I don't remember who it was, might have been Jim, I said, what time is it? They said, it's 10:55. My God, that is the longest 55 minutes of my life. And if the whole day is going to be like this, it's going to be a long, difficult day. But in the midst of chaos, they sing the song and the confusion that comes along with our youthful ways. It's what happens to us that the adults don't know how to pray, so the kids don't know how to pray. And the kids will mimic what you do. They will migrate to the Spirit of God. Last night, Hannah, these two young ladies here, they came up and they just led us in some worship. And I just decided and determined I'm going to get my eyes off everybody and I'm going to throw my eyes on Jesus. I don't care what's going on in this place. I don't care who's doing what. I'm just going to get my eyes on Jesus, and I'm going to do what God called me to do. I can't do it for you guys. I cannot do anything for you. What you need from God, you have to get it yourself. You have to determine in your life that going to church is more than I'm going to sit in a building. You have to understand that you are the building, a temple of God. One little boy last night, he's here today, but he said something about lively stones. Which one of you said something about, like, come here, buddy, come here. And his brother said, I got off a cartoon. I don't care where he got it from, it was real. Come here and tell me what he said about them lively stones.
We're all,
Don't take my place, just tell me.
we're all living stones being used by God to make a special church.
All right. We're all living stones being used by God to make a special church. Listen to me today. If you are sitting in here and you are dead in your spirit, then the church where you're sitting is dead. Well, if you're sitting there and you don't feel the presence of God and you don't feel the need, now I'm not coming down on you. I want you to understand something. You are a lively stone. Peter said that we were lively stones and we were built upon the cornerstone, who is Jesus Christ. And guys, if the church is going to be alive and praising, you're going to have to be alive and you're going to have to be praising.
That's right. Amen.
One place Jesus said, if my people don't praise me,